The Presto Precise Digital Pressure Canner is the first electric canner to meet USDA home canning guidelines for safely processing vegetables, meats, poultry, and other low-acid foods. It also doubles as a boiling water canner. Both methods use recipes with standard processing times and temperatures as defined by the USDA. Presto Precise digital canners are available in two sizes, 12 and 17 quart liquid capacities. The 12 quart model will be used in this video. Except for jar capacity, they function the same. This step-by-step video guide will demonstrate the boiling water canning method, but before using it for the first time, refer to the Getting Acquainted section of the instruction manual for directions on cleaning and assembling your canner before starting to can. Also included are specific instructions for using the boiling water canning method with high-acid foods such as fruits, tomatoes, salsa, jams, and pickles. Let's get started. Always use a research-tested recipe and never alter the ingredient proportions. Today, we're using the applesauce recipe with the boiling water canning method. Prepare the food exactly as directed in the recipe. We're making applesauce and processing it in pint jars. This 12-quart liquid capacity model will hold a maximum of 8 regular mouth pint-sized mason jars. If you're using the larger 17-quart model, it will hold the same number of pint jars or up to 5 quart-sized jars. Gather the canning supplies you'll need. For information on preparing the jars, lids, and bands, refer to Canning Basics in the instruction manual and online at gopresto.com. Now, turn to the boiling water canning section of the instruction manual. Put the removable pot in the canner and place the canning rack in the pot to prevent jar breakage. Add 3 quarts of hot tap water, which will reach the fill line. Fully insert the power cord and plug in. Pressure can will flash on the display window. To change the program, slowly rotate the control knob until Boiling Water Can flashes. Press the control knob to select that mode. The Boiling Water Can icon will stop flashing and remain illuminated. Rotate the knob to set the time for the specific boiling water recipe and jar size being used. In this case, 15 minutes for applesauce in pint jars. However, when boiling water canning at altitudes above 1,000 feet, see the instruction manual for the appropriate increase in processing time. Press the advance arrow and insert jars will light up. Fill the jars half full with hot tap water to efficiently heat the jars for canning and place them on the canning rack. Never use the regulator when using the boiling water method. Place the cover on the canner, aligning the Install Remove on the cover with the mark on the canner body, and rotate the cover until the locked mark on the cover is within the mark on the canner body. Keep the temperature sensor arm in the upright unlocked position. Press the advance arrow and the warm icon will light up. The progress bar will begin scrolling to indicate the canner is heating. Jar warming will take about 20 minutes. During this time, assemble ingredients and equipment and complete the food preparation according to the recipe. Heat at least 3 quarts of water to boiling for later use. More water may be needed if the canner is not filled to capacity. When the canner beeps twice, fill jars will light up. The jars are now preheated and ready for filling. Remove the cover and lift out 1 jar at a time. Discard the water from the jar and immediately fill the jar with hot applesauce, leaving 1/2 inch headspace as directed in the canning recipe. All recipes will indicate the amount of headspace necessary for the food being canned. Headspace is the airspace between the top of the food or liquid and the lid. It's important to release air bubbles from the jar and to wipe any food particles or liquid from the jar rim. Then position a flat lid. Using your fingertips, screw the band onto the jar until resistance is met. Do not over-tighten as air must release from the jars during processing and cooling. Place the filled jar straight down onto the canning rack and repeat the process until all jars are filled. Using the boiling water you prepared earlier, pour additional water into the canner until the water level is 1 inch above the jars. Place the cover on the canner, aligning the Install Remove mark on the cover with the mark on the canner body, and rotate the cover until the Locked mark on the cover is within the mark on the canner body. Make sure the white gasket is on the temperature sensor. Then lower the sensor arm and turn the green latch clockwise until it aligns with the handle and locks in place. The regulator should not be on the cover. Press the advance arrow and the heat icon illuminates. The processing time set earlier appears and the progress bar continues to scroll as the canner heats. Once the required canning temperature is reached, the unit will beep twice, and canning will light up. The canner is now processing. The timer will start to count down. The progress bar will stop scrolling and begin to light up in sections. It will increase in length as processing time continues. You will notice air and steam releasing from the vent pipe and air vent during the processing. You will also hear boiling. The Presto Precise digital canner holds the exact boiling water processing temperature automatically. There's no need to watch or adjust settings. When processing time expires, the canner beeps 4 times. The cool icon lights up, and the timer will display a 5-minute countdown. Remove the cover as soon as the countdown begins by unlocking the green latch and lifting the temperature sensor arm. Then rotate the cover counterclockwise to the unlocked position and remove the cover. Carefully lift it towards you to keep steam and boiling water away. When the time expires, the canner will beep 10 times and the Done icon will light up. Press and hold the canner button for 3 seconds. Using a jar lifter, carefully remove the jars by lifting straight up and placing them upright on a towel. Do not retighten the bands. Allow the jars to cool naturally for a minimum of 12 hours, but no more than 24 hours before testing to see if a vacuum seal has formed. To check the seals, press down on the lid. It should be concave and not flex up and down when pressed. If a jar fails to seal, it will audibly flex up and down. Refer to canning basics in the instruction manual for a remedy. You now have 8 pints of boiling water canned applesauce, beautifully preserved using the Presto Precise digital pressure canner. Be sure to read the instruction manual and recipe carefully before each use. The Quick Start Guide is also a helpful reference tool. More canning information is available at gopresto.com. For a step-by-step video guide of the pressure canning method using the digital pressure canner, watch the companion video.